husband was diagnosed with leukemia, and there was a very unknown prognosis long term. I didn't know if he was going to be taken away from me. I didn't know how long we had. I didn't know anything.
After his tragic diagnosis, Sheikh Al Maktoum had only 3 months to live. Leukemia was winning, and hope was slipping from him. But his wife wasn't ready to accept defeat. She embarked on a desperate mission and did something that defied expectations. Join us as we explore this story of courage, relentless love, and a miracle no one saw coming. The beginning of a love story. Rashid and Natalie first crossed paths in Dubai, a city known for its opulence lifestyle. Natalie, an Englishwoman with a keen business sense, managed a successful chain of pet stores there. Their mutual love for horses was what brought them together, creating a connection that would eventually grow into a deep and lasting relationship. The appeal of the equestrian world played a significant role in their story, drawing them closer with each shared experience. Natalie Lancaster's journey with horses began long before her move to Dubai. She spent her early years in Saudi Arabia before her family settled in Shropshire, England. From a young age, she was immersed in the world of horses. Thanks to her grandmother, who was not only a skilled dressage rider, but also a guiding influence in her life. Her grandmother's passion for dressage became the foundation for Natalie's lifelong love of horses. The elder woman had her own journey in the sport, starting to compete relatively late in life and choosing to stay within the United Kingdom. Despite not venturing beyond British shores, she performed admirably, setting a strong example for Natalie. Growing up surrounded by horses, Natalie's bond with them developed naturally. She fondly recalls how her grandmother's involvement in dressage created an environment where horses were part of daily life. Natalie's exposure to dressage from such an early age meant she absorbed the intricacies of the sport without even realizing it. Although her focus on riding diminished around the age of 7, as other interests momentarily took precedence. However, her connection to horses never truly faded. At 13, she brought her pony with her to boarding school, ensuring that riding remained a part of her life despite the changing circumstances. At 21, Natalie made the bold decision to move to the United Arab Emirates. This transition marked a new chapter, filled with opportunities and challenges. Initially, she found work at a lighting design company, immersing herself in the professional world. But even as she pursued this career, the absence of horses left a void. Looking back on this period, she admitted feeling an undeniable pull back to the equestrian scene. The passion that had been nurtured in her youth could not be ignored. One day, she stumbled upon an advertisement for a horse. Following her instincts, she went to see the horse, and from that moment, she knew she needed to return to her roots. This encounter reignited her love for dressage and solidified her commitment to pursuing it. Dressage is a discipline that demands precision and harmony between horse and rider. Natalie excels in this art, mastering the delicate balance required to communicate seamlessly with her horse. Her dedication and talent have allowed her to compete at high levels, representing the United Arab Emirates on international stages, including the prestigious Asian Games. She demonstrated incredible skill at the 2022 Asian Games in Hangzhou, where she qualified for the final day as an individual competitor. Her participation in other notable events, such as the Haras de Jardin competition and CDI Deauville in France, further showcased her abilities. Over the past year's months, Natalie has achieved significant success in the dressage world. Her victories include triumphs at CDI Deauville in 2022 and 2023, CDI Jardin in 2022, and CDI Crozet in both 2022 and 2023. Each competition has contributed to her growing reputation as a dedicated and accomplished dressage rider. Her journey is marked by perseverance and passion, reflecting her undying commitment to the sport. It was not long after rediscovering her passion for horses that Natalie's path intersected with Sheikh Rashid's. They met at the Dubai Equestrian Club in 2015, where Natalie practiced dressage, perfecting her movements with grace and precision. Meanwhile, Rashid, an accomplished equestrian himself, was preparing for competitions in show jumping. For Rashid, show jumping was more than just a hobby. It was a pursuit he took very seriously, almost as if it were a profession. In 2010, he achieved the title of Asian Vice Champion in equestrian sports at the Continental Games held in Guangzhou, solidifying his reputation as an excellent competitor. Their shared commitment to the equestrian world laid the foundation for a deep connection, leading to their marriage in 2015. At the time of their wedding, Natalie was 26 years old, while Rashid was a year younger. Their union was celebrated with joy, marking the beginning of a new chapter in their lives. The following year, they welcomed their first child, a daughter named Sheikha Hessa. The name Hessa was chosen to honor Rashid's mother, preserving a cherished family legacy. 3 years later, their family grew once more with the arrival of their second daughter, Aliyah. The couple embraced their roles as parents with love and dedication, nurturing a close-knit family environment. Rashid and Natalie share a special bond with their daughters, Sheikha Hessa bint Rashid Al Maktoum and Sheikha Aliyah bint Rashid Al Maktoum. The girls are growing up surrounded by love and tradition, with a unique blend of British and Emirati cultural influences. Just like their parents, both girls have shown a keen interest in horses, a passion that seems destined to continue through the next generation. Their story is one of love, tradition, and shared passions. Unfortunately, things were about to change for their family. Surviving leukemia, Sheikh Rashid was destined to inherit a multi-billion-dollar fortune from his father, Ahmed Al Maktoum, who is the brother of Sheikh Mohammed, the ruler of Dubai. His wealth came from owning several influential companies in real estate development, banking, and investment throughout the Arab Emirates. Despite his vast riches and high social status, it wasn't his wealth or aristocratic background that attracted Natalie to him. Her affection for Rashid went far beyond material possessions or titles. Their story took a devastating turn that no one could have anticipated. In the early days of their marriage, they seemed to be living a perfectly happy and harmonious life. The couple appeared to have it all: love, wealth, and the joy of welcoming two beautiful daughters into the world. However, just a few months after the birth of their second child, their happiness was abruptly shattered. Rashid was diagnosed with leukemia, and the prognosis was dire. Medical tests revealed that an alarming 86% of his blood was infected with cancer. Typically, people in his condition survive no more than 3 months. Faced with this tragic news, Rashid was overwhelmed with sorrow. According to those who knew him best, he was convinced that his life was coming to an end. He fell into a state of deep resignation and began preparing for his demise. His initial plan was to spend his remaining days quietly in Dubai, surrounded by his family, awaiting the inevitable. Rashid believed he could do nothing but wait for his fate to unfold. But his wife, Natalie Al Maktoum, formerly known as Natalie Lancaster, had a different perspective. She wasn't ready to give up on him. She made every effort to help him see that despite the terrible diagnosis, giving in to worry wasn't the answer. She strongly believed that even though leukemia had turned their world upside down, surrendering to it without a fight was not an option. Natalie's love and determination began to penetrate Rashid's hopelessness. She insisted that his life was worth fighting for, not only for himself, but also for his family. Yet Rashid was reluctant. He saw no point in undergoing painful and exhausting treatments when the chances of recovery seemed so slim. What he wanted most was to spend his last days at home, close to his beloved wife and daughters, and continue enjoying one of his greatest passions, horse riding. Nevertheless, Natalie's persistence eventually wore down his resistance. She made him realize that he had to fight for life, not just for himself, but for the sake of his family. Her love gave him the strength to reconsider his decision, and he agreed to pursue treatment. His uncle, Sheikh Mohammed, the ruler of Dubai, supported him wholeheartedly, providing all the resources needed for his medical journey. In November 2019, Rashid traveled to London to receive treatment at one of the best hospitals in Britain. By then, the disease was severely advanced. He later admitted that he had been feeling unwell long before his diagnosis, but had dismissed it as mere fatigue. This delay allowed the leukemia to spread unchecked, and when he finally sought medical help, his condition was critical. Doctors faced the monumental task of saving his life. Rashid underwent an aggressive and prolonged course of chemotherapy. The treatment was brutal, leaving him physically unrecognizable. He lost 30 kilograms and became a shadow of his former self, looking increasingly frail. But the physical effect was not the worst of it. The potent medications that were necessary to fight the cancer also brought devastating side effects. One of the most severe side effects was deep depression. Rashid became emotionally numb and unresponsive. He shut himself away from the world, isolating himself in his room, where he slept for many hours a day. This state of near-total withdrawal lasted for a month and a half. During this time, Rashid lost all of his hair, including his eyebrows and beard. He no longer recognized himself when he looked in the mirror. The illness and its treatment had stripped him of his identity, leaving him feeling hollow. Despite these overwhelming emotions, a small glimmer of hope remained within him. Somewhere deep down, Rashid continued to believe that his suffering had a purpose. He was fighting not just for himself, but also for his loved ones. The thought of his wife and daughters waiting for him outside the hospital kept him going. Even in his darkest moments, this realization gave him the will to continue battling the disease. After 40 days of intense chemotherapy, something truly amazing happened. The leukemia unexpectedly went into remission. Even the doctors were astonished. They admitted that at such an advanced stage, the disease is usually only managed through palliative care, which focuses on easing pain rather than curing the illness. Full recovery is extremely rare and typically occurs only when a patient's sheer will to live activates hidden strengths within their body. In Rashid's case, it seemed his desire to return to his family was stronger than the illness. His love for them gave him the courage to keep fighting. This powerful motivation played a critical role in his recovery. But even though the cancer had retreated, his problems were far from over. Returning to normal life after such a traumatic experience wasn't easy. Rashid had to rebuild his body and his spirit. The months of chemotherapy had left him weakened and emotionally scarred. Yet through it all, Natalie remained by his side, offering unwavering support. Her faith in him never wavered, and her love gave him the strength to reclaim his life. Rashid's battle with leukemia was far more than just a medical struggle. It was a fight for hope, love, and the future he wanted to share with his family. The ordeal changed him forever, making him realize the true value of life and the power of love and determination. Even after overcoming such a terrifying illness, his journey was not over. However, he experienced a second miracle through his wife. You won't believe what she did. A second chance. The cancer medication had an incredibly severe impact on Rashid. It wasn't just about the physical side effects. The emotional impact was devastating. His depression became chronic, lingering heavily for 2 long years. During that time, it felt as if he was trapped in a never-ending cycle of darkness. There was no motivation, no desire to engage with life. He remembers sinking into a deep state of detachment, feeling entirely disconnected from the world around him. Rashid often reflects on those difficult days, describing how it felt like an overwhelming exhaustion that went beyond mere tiredness. In reality, it was profound depression, a state he found almost impossible to escape. During those bleak months, he had no strength to fight back. He simply existed, moving through each day without purpose or direction. It was as if life itself had lost all color. But just when everything seemed unbearably hopeless, Natalie stepped in once more. Natalie understood her husband better than anyone else. She could see the pain he was drowning in, and she refused to let him disappear into that darkness. Determined to bring him back to life, she took matters into her own hands. She constantly encouraged him to get out of the house, skillfully finding reasons to take him to the Dubai Equestrian Club. She was relentless, never giving up on him, even when he resisted. She knew exactly what she was doing. Natalie was well aware of the powerful impact that horses can have on a person's mental state. She had always known how passionate Rashid was about equestrian sports. It was an interest that had defined him long before cancer tried to take everything away. By bringing him back to the stables, she hoped to reconnect him with a part of himself that had been lost in the struggle. Her intuition proved to be right. Slowly but surely, Rashid began to respond. It was as if the horses were healing him, piece by piece. This was the second miracle in their journey together. The first had been his recovery from one of the deadliest forms of cancer. Against all odds, he had survived. But it was this second miracle that allowed him to truly live again. 2 years after sinking into a seemingly bottomless pit, Rashid emerged fully healed, not just physically, but emotionally as well. He often reflects on the immense strength his wife displayed during that time. She was nothing short of remarkable. Not only did she keep their household running smoothly and take care of their children, but she also found the strength to save him from his illness. Her love and determination were the anchors that kept him from drifting away completely. Now, Rashid only visits a psychiatrist occasionally. The depression that once gripped him so fiercely has almost entirely faded. Life has meaning again, and he has new goals to focus on. One of the most exciting challenges awaiting him was the Summer Olympics held in Paris in 2024. He dedicated himself to preparing for this monumental event, driven by a renewed sense of purpose. Rashid felt confident about his chances of joining the Arab Emirates show jumping team, a dream he had held on to for as long as he could remember. Rashid longed to compete at the Olympics alongside Natalie. Still, Rashid made it clear that even if Natalie didn't make the team, his joy would be no less complete. In a strange way, his battle with leukemia had given him a new perspective on life. He came to realize that his illness, as terrifying as it was, had taught him valuable lessons. Rashid now recognizes that before his diagnosis, he was too focused on the future, always planning ahead and postponing meaningful experiences. His brush with death taught him the importance of living in the moment, of finding joy in the present rather than constantly waiting for the perfect time. In 2024, Rashid and Natalie welcomed their third child into the world. It was a time of great joy and gratitude. The couple felt truly blessed, especially considering the journey they had been through. Rashid expressed his heartfelt thanks to God for the safe arrival of their daughter, whom they named Maitha. He saw her birth as a precious gift, a symbol of hope and new beginnings. Rashid shared his joy with the world by posting a heartfelt video on his official Instagram account, announcing Maitha's birth. In his message, he wrote about the overwhelming love and happiness they felt, praying for their daughter to grow up beautifully and to always be a source of joy for them. This touching moment was made even more exciting by the fact that Rashid had once been ready to give up. Despite his wealth, power, and influence, he had been on the verge of surrendering to his illness, but love saved him. It was Natalie's support that pulled him back from the edge. She never allowed him to lose hope, even when the darkness seemed impossible to overcome. Today, Rashid stands in awe of her resilience and steadfast support. He knows he owes his recovery to her unyielding hope and perseverance. Natalie's love was not just about standing by his side. It was about actively helping him rebuild his life. Her deep understanding of him, combined with her compassion and determination, made all the difference. She didn't just save his life, she gave him a reason to live. And it wasn't just Rashid who benefited from her love and kindness. Natalie's heart was big enough to care for many, including animals. Let's take a look at what leukemia is to truly understand Rashid's story. Leukemia, causes and symptoms. Leukemia is a type of cancer that begins in the blood-forming tissues of the body, particularly the bone marrow and the lymphatic system. It is a disease that affects how the body produces blood cells, especially white blood cells, which play a crucial role in fighting infections. In leukemia, the bone marrow produces an excessive amount of abnormal white blood cells, which don't function properly. These cancerous cells crowd out healthy blood cells, disrupting the normal balance and leading to serious health complications. This disease can occur in people of all ages, but the causes and symptoms can vary, depending on the type of leukemia and the individual's health condition. The exact cause of leukemia is not fully understood, but scientists have identified several risk factors that may contribute to its development. Genetic mutations play a significant role in the onset of leukemia. These mutations can occur spontaneously, often without any known cause. In some cases, they are inherited from parents. While most cases are not directly inherited, having a close relative with leukemia slightly increases the risk. Certain genetic disorders, such as Down syndrome, increase the risk of developing leukemia due to abnormalities in chromosomes that affect blood cell production. Although not every person with these genetic conditions develops leukemia, the risk is significantly higher compared to the general population. Environmental factors also contribute to the development of leukemia. Exposure to high levels of radiation is known to increase the risk. For instance, people who survived atomic bomb explosions or nuclear accidents have shown a higher incidence of leukemia. Additionally, exposure to certain chemicals, such as benzene, which is found in gasoline and is also used in the chemical industry, has been linked to a higher likelihood of developing leukemia. Prolonged exposure to such chemicals, especially in workplaces with inadequate safety measures, can significantly increase the risk. Furthermore, people undergoing chemotherapy or radiation therapy for other cancers are at a slightly higher risk of developing leukemia later in life, because these treatments can damage healthy cells, sometimes leading to secondary cancers like leukemia. Smoking is another risk factor associated with leukemia, particularly acute myeloid leukemia, AML. Cigarette smoke contains numerous carcinogens that can damage the DNA in blood cells, leading to the development of cancerous cells. Although smoking is more commonly linked to lung cancer, its role in increasing the risk of leukemia should not be underestimated, as multiple factors likely interact to trigger the disease. The symptoms of leukemia can vary widely depending on the type and stage of the disease, but there are some common signs to watch for. One of the most noticeable symptoms is persistent fatigue. This occurs because leukemia cells crowd out healthy red blood cells, leading to anemia and reduced oxygen supply to the body's tissues. People with leukemia often feel extremely tired and weak, even after adequate rest. This fatigue can interfere with daily activities, making it difficult to perform routine tasks. Frequent infections are another common symptom of leukemia. Since abnormal white blood cells are ineffective at fighting infections, the body's immune system becomes compromised. As a result, people with leukemia may experience repeated infections, such as colds, fevers, or other illnesses that seem to linger longer than usual. These infections can occur more frequently and may be more severe than in healthy individuals. Unexplained weight loss is also a symptom of leukemia. The rapid growth of cancer cells consumes a significant amount of energy, leading to unintended weight loss. People with leukemia may lose their appetite and feel full quickly, contributing to the reduction in body weight. Easy bruising and bleeding are also common in people with leukemia. This happens because leukemia cells crowd out the platelets, which are responsible for blood clotting. As a result, individuals may notice that they bruise easily, even from minor bumps. Bone pain and joint discomfort can also be indicators of leukemia. Cancerous cells accumulating in the bone marrow can cause pain or a feeling of pressure in the bones. This pain is usually felt in the long bones of the arms and legs or in the ribs. It can range from mild discomfort to severe pain, affecting mobility and overall comfort. Fever is also common in people with leukemia. These symptoms occur because the body is trying to fight off infections or inflammation caused by cancer cells. The fevers associated with leukemia are often unexplained and may come and go without any obvious cause. Swollen lymph nodes are another symptom of leukemia. Lymph nodes are part of the immune system, and when leukemia cells spread to these nodes, they can cause swelling, particularly in the neck, underarms, or groin. These swollen nodes are usually painless, but they may become tender if they grow too large. It is important to note that these symptoms are not exclusive to leukemia and can be caused by other medical conditions. However, if any of these symptoms persist or worsen over time, it is crucial to seek medical attention for proper diagnosis and treatment. Early detection and intervention are key to improving the chances of successful treatment and recovery. So, what can be done about leukemia when diagnosed? Treatment and healthy practices. One of the primary treatments for leukemia is chemotherapy. Chemotherapy uses powerful drugs to destroy cancer cells or stop them from growing. These drugs can be administered orally, through injections, or intravenously. Although chemotherapy is effective in targeting leukemia cells, it also affects healthy cells. To manage the side effects, doctors often prescribe additional medications to help patients feel more comfortable during treatment. Radiation therapy is another common treatment for leukemia. It uses high-energy rays to target and eliminate cancer cells. This method is particularly useful when leukemia cells have spread to the brain or other parts of the body. Radiation therapy can be localized to a specific area or given to the whole body before a bone marrow transplant. Although effective, it can cause fatigue, skin irritation, and other side effects. Patients are encouraged to rest adequately and take good care of their skin to minimize discomfort. A bone marrow transplant is often recommended for patients with aggressive or recurring leukemia. This procedure involves replacing damaged bone marrow with healthy stem cells from a donor. It allows the body to produce healthy blood cells again. Before the transplant, patients receive high doses of chemotherapy or radiation to destroy cancerous cells, which weakens the immune system. Recovery from a bone marrow transplant can be lengthy and challenging, but it significantly increases the chances of remission for many patients. Targeted therapy is a more modern approach that focuses on attacking specific cancer cells without harming healthy ones. These drugs target proteins or genes that help cancer cells grow. Because they are more precise than chemotherapy, they often cause fewer side effects. However, not all patients respond to targeted therapy, so doctors must carefully evaluate each case. This personalized approach to treatment is a promising development in the fight against leukemia. Immunotherapy is another innovative treatment that boosts the body's natural defenses to fight cancer. It involves using substances made by the body or in a lab to enhance the immune system's ability to recognize and destroy leukemia cells. This method is particularly effective for some types of leukemia, that do not respond well to other treatments. Patients undergoing immunotherapy may experience flu-like symptoms, fatigue, and skin reactions. However, the potential benefits often outweigh the discomfort. While medical treatments are essential, maintaining a healthy lifestyle is equally important for managing leukemia and supporting recovery. Eating a balanced diet helps the body stay strong and resilient during treatment. Patients are encouraged to consume a variety of foods that provide essential vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that support the immune system and help the body heal. Avoiding processed foods, sugary snacks, and excessive salt is crucial for maintaining overall health and preventing other complications. Staying physically active is also important, although patients should always listen to their bodies and not overexert themselves. Gentle exercises like walking, stretching, and yoga can improve circulation, reduce fatigue, and enhance mood. Exercise also helps maintain muscle strength and flexibility, which can be affected by prolonged bed rest or treatment side effects. It's essential to consult with a healthcare provider before starting any exercise routine to ensure safety and effectiveness. Mental and emotional well-being are just as vital as physical health when dealing with leukemia. The diagnosis and treatment process can be overwhelming, leading to feelings of anxiety, fear, and depression. Seeking support from family, friends, or support groups can help patients feel less isolated. Talking to a counselor or psychologist is also beneficial for processing emotions and developing coping strategies. Getting enough rest and sleep is crucial for recovery and overall well-being. Fatigue is a common side effect of leukemia and its treatments, so allowing the body to rest is necessary. Establishing a regular sleep schedule, creating a comfortable sleeping environment, and avoiding caffeine or heavy meals before bedtime can improve sleep quality. Short naps during the day can also help manage fatigue without interfering with nighttime sleep. Staying hydrated is another important aspect of maintaining health during leukemia treatment. Drinking plenty of water helps the body flush out toxins from medications and supports overall bodily functions. Herbal teas and natural fruit juices can also contribute to fluid intake while providing additional nutrients. Avoiding sugary or caffeinated drinks is advisable, as they can cause dehydration and affect energy levels. Regular follow-up appointments with healthcare providers are necessary to monitor progress and adjust treatment plans if needed. These visits allow doctors to detect any complications early and provide appropriate care. Patients should communicate openly with their medical team about any side effects, concerns, or changes in their health. This proactive approach helps in managing the disease more effectively. Every small step towards better health matters. Leukemia is a complex disease with various causes and symptoms, making it challenging to diagnose and treat. Understanding the risk factors and recognizing the warning signs can help individuals seek medical help sooner, leading to better outcomes. Ongoing research continues to explore the underlying causes of leukemia and improve treatment options. By raising awareness and promoting early detection, it is possible to enhance the quality of life for those affected by this serious illness. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.